This conference will now be recorded.
Right, sir. We will start this session. So yesterday we were speaking about made to order production, kada? Right, sir. So today let us see some other concept. Yeah, outline agreements. So that is what, my friends, today I am going to start outline agreements. So what exactly is this outline agreements? Sir, basically this is like your sales documents, outline agreements, nothing but your sales documents only, but with some variation, like your sales order, but with some variation. Simple things, eh? Sir, basically there are two different types of documents here. There are two different documents here, my friends, under outline agreements. One is called as scheduling agreement. One is called as scheduling agreement, and the other one is called contracts. Other one is called contracts. So like this, my friends, there are two different documents. One is scheduling agreements and the other one is contracts. So agreements and contracts, both of them are put together called outline agreements. So first let us speak about, friends, first let us speak about scheduling agreement. Sir, scheduling agreement is something like a sales order only, but as the name itself says, agreement, where the terms and conditions, where the terms and conditions are valid for certain time period, means the agreement will have a validity period, my friends. Whereas we don't have any validity period for sales order. So whatever the prices or any other information that we have mentioned in the sales order, they are for that particular sales order only. For the next sales order itself, the terms and conditions may change. The prices may change, the discounts you are offering may change, right? Or the payment terms may change. But if you are speaking about scheduling agreement, all the terms and conditions are fixed for, all the terms and conditions are fixed for a particular time period, my friends. They are fixed for a particular time period. Sir, I am saying that the agreement is valid for 1 month. The agreement is valid for 1 month. So whatever the information that we have mentioned in that agreement, all the details, including pricing details, everything, they are valid for 1 month. So within that 1 month, the details are not going to be changed. While creating the agreement, I said price of this material is 1,000 rupees. That's it. So during that time period, the prices are never going to be changed, my friends. The prices are never going to be changed. They are fixed. That's it. So something like this. The terms and conditions that are specified in the agreement are fixed during that particular time period. And next one, sir. As I told you, the agreement itself is like an order. So based on that agreement, directly we deliver the goods to the customer. This is another important point. So it is absolutely not required. Friends, it is absolutely not required again to create a separate sales order. This is another important point. Based on agreement, it is absolutely not required to create a separate sales order. The agreement itself is like that only. So, my friends, based on the agreement, directly you deliver the goods to the customer. That is what we are talking about. Clear, guys? Right. And next thing, while creating the scheduling agreement, while creating the scheduling agreement, my friends, for each item in the agreement, we have to specify the delivery dates and the quantities. So by which date, how much quantity you would like to deliver. Getting the point, sir? This is what you need to understand. While creating the scheduling agreement, while creating the scheduling agreement, we have to specify. Friends, we have to specify by which date, how much quantity you would like to deliver. For the scheduling agreement, for the scheduling agreement, guys, we have schedule line data. We have schedule line data. So, in that schedule line data, you enter the delivery date, you enter the delivery date, and then, my friends, on that date, how much quantity you can deliver to the customer, that you enter. And the point here is, while creating the scheduling agreement, you can enter all these delivery dates and quantities. Or, my friends, while creating the agreement, you can enter the required delivery dates up to certain date. So, for example, say up to December ending, the agreement is valid. So right now I am going to enter, I am creating the agreement in which I will enter the delivery dates up to December 10th. Then after December 10th, you come back to your scheduling agreement. There you can enter the remaining dates for delivering the quantities. So ultimately, in the scheduling data of the agreement, for each item, we are going to enter the delivery dates and the corresponding quantities that you would like to deliver on those dates. And when those dates come, on those dates, directly you deliver the goods to the customer. So based on the scheduling agreement, it is again not required to create any separate sales order. Absolutely not required, my friends. Absolutely not required. With based on the scheduling agreement itself, directly you can deliver the goods to the customer. That's what we should. And based on the delivery, obviously, you are going to raise an invoice on the customer. Based on that, you are going to raise the invoice on the customer. Clear, guys? Right. So now let us see how to create. Sir, creating delivery, creating invoice, no need to discuss. Already you people know about it. Already you people know about it. So I am going to show you how to create the scheduling agreement. That is what I am going to show you, my friends. So here you will get a new document type. Let us see this. Logistics, sales and distribution, sales, scheduling agreement. There we have VA31 create. Right, sir. So here, when you are talking about creating any document in the SAP system, as already we people know, every document is controlled by a document type, my friends. Every document is controlled by a document type. So how system knows that this is not sales order, this is agreement? For that, we have a document type DS. Hence, for that, this is the document type DS which we have to use. Open this. Sir, well, how to create the scheduling agreement? You don't find much difference there. Okay, that is like creating any other regular order. See, enter the customer, scroll down, enter the material, enter the quantity, same it. Apart from this, my friends, yeah, I said enter, let this come. Apart from this, you have to specify the validity period. This is important. You have to specify the validity period. Now see, it is asking enter validity period. So from which date to which date this agreement is valid? That is the most important thing, right? So keep the validity period here. Say for example, I am saying this agreement is up to December month ending, like this. So you have to specify those dates, my friends. From which date to which date the agreement is valid. Let this come. Taking time, sir. Please wait. Right, now see the screen. Apart from this, we should also specify the description. Some name like agreement for the name of the customer. You can type there whatever you want. Okay. And next important thing, sir. Next important thing here is see the screen. Actually, the moment we enter a material and quantity, for that immediately the system is going to carry out the availability check. For that immediately the system is going to carry out the availability check, right? And then it is going to give the confirmed quantity. But sir, see the screen. Go to schedule line data. There you will not find any delivery dates or quantities. We have to manually enter them. This is the biggest difference between regular sales order and your scheduling agreement. This is the biggest difference, my friends. Now we have to enter those dates and quantities. So like for example, so on this date, so I would like to deliver some 30 pieces. Keep on entering those dates and quantities here, sir. This is what you need to do. We have to manually enter. We have to manually enter the delivery dates and quantities. Then the system is taking order quantity as 30. then only price is going to be calculated. I entered the delivery dates for 30 pieces. So for those 30 pieces, the price is getting calculated. Then for example, on the 15th of next month, I would like to deliver some 50 pieces. So total order quantity has become 80 pieces. Then for 80 pieces, the system is going to calculate the value like this. So like this in the schedule line data, my friends, you keep on entering the delivery dates and quantities. You keep on entering the delivery dates and quantities. And on when that delivery date comes, like on 2nd of December, you directly create a delivery document for 30 pieces with reference to this scheduling agreement. Nothing special, just go to VL01 and create the delivery. Regular delivery only, nothing new. Friends, regular delivery only, nothing new. So you directly go to VL01N and you create the delivery document with reference to this scheduling agreement. With reference to this scheduling agreement. Clear, my friends? Right. And now let us see what are all the configurations you have to maintain, like document types, item categories, and schedule line categories, my friends. See the screen. So which document type we use? DS. So let me open this document type DS. DS. Let me open this, guys. So for every document type, the main control lies in document category. As already we people know about it, the main control lies in document category. So that how the SAP system knows that the document type DS is a agreement is going E. Document category is E. So system knows that the document category is for agreement. See, E scheduling agreement like this. And next one, the screen has been changed. Why? Because friends, in the scheduling agreement screen, we have something like valid from, valid to, description. All these fields are added. All these fields are added. So my friends, the screen has to be changed. So my friends, the screen sequence group is going to be changed. So the screen sequence group is going to be changed. Okay. So LP is the screen sequence group, my friends. LP is the screen sequence group. And next one, transaction code with which we are creating it has been changed. Transaction code with which we are creating the agreement has been changed. So the transaction group should also be changed, my friends. The transaction group should also be changed. See, it's got VA31. So the transaction group is 3. So my friends, the transaction group is 3. Like this. And next one, corresponding delivery type is LF. There we don't have any difference. Why? Because as I told you, it is going to be a regular delivery process only. Friends, it is going to be a regular delivery process only. So we don't need to have a separate delivery document type, same LF, and regular billing, same F2. There is no difference there. Okay, right. And next one, sir, billing. Billing is also same, regular invoice F2. Regular invoice, my friends, F2. There also we don't have any difference because we are going to bill the customer based on the delivery. That too, my friends, regular billing only. So we don't require to change the billing document type. It is like your regular billing only. Okay, na? Fine, sir. And now what about the item category? Next configuration. So what is the item category that we are using in the agreement? Friends, it is LPN. It is LPN. So that is the item category, guys, we are using. Then what about this LPN? What are the functionalities about this item category LPN? So listen to me carefully, guys. Sir, this item category LPN will be same as your TAN, relevant for billing, relevant for pricing, everything, my friends, same as your TAN only. Let us see this. What happened? Something went wrong here. So just leave it. So if you look at this item category LPN, my friends, it is same as TAN, relevant for billing, relevant for pricing. Literally everything is same as TAN. Then why to change the item category? Friends, in that case, why we are changing the item category? If it is same as TAN, sir, the only difference is remaining everything is same, relevant for schedule lines, billing, pricing, everything is same. The difference here is this. Incompletion procedure. That's where, my friends, we have the difference. Incompletion procedure, friends, that's where we have the difference. See, actually incompletion procedure is 22. Go and check the incompletion procedure for TAN 20. That is the difference. Now let me explain this. What exactly it is speaking about. Sir, as already we people know, the incompletion procedure always speaks about which fields are mandatory. The incompletion procedure always speaks about which fields are mandatory in your sales document. That's what the incompletion procedure speaks about, my friends. As already we people have discussed that earlier. Incompletion procedure says which fields are mandatory in a sales document? Sir, the set of mandatory fields in the agreement, the set of mandatory fields in the agreement are different from the set of mandatory fields in sales order. In sales order. Why? Because, my friends, in sales order, in scheduling agreement, we have the fields like valid from and valid to. We have the fields like valid from and valid to, which are mandatory in the scheduling agreement, whereas, my friends, we don't have these fields. We don't have these fields in the sales order. That's what I'm saying. The set of mandatory fields, in the scheduling agreement are different from the set of mandatory fields in the sales order. That is the reason why. My friends, we are changing the incompletion procedure. That is the reason why we are changing the incompletion procedure. Got it, sir? So this is the only difference between the regular item category TAN and the item category of your scheduling agreement. This is the only difference. Otherwise, both of them are literally same. Remaining all the functionalities, my friends, are literally same. Okay, fine, sir. And next, schedule line category. Sir, in the schedule line category also, friends, in the schedule line category also, we don't have any difference. Let me open the agreement and show you. CP only, because same relevant for delivering, right? Relevant for billing, movement type 601, stock has to be reduced. All these functionalities are obviously same. All these functionalities are obviously same. So, my friends, there is no difference there. The schedule line category is going to be same. There we don't have any difference. Friends, there we don't have any difference. Now listen to me. Sir, once these configurations are done, based on this agreement, you create the delivery. Based on the agreement, you create the delivery, and then based on that delivery, my friends, you raise the invoice on the customer. Based on that delivery, you raise the invoice on the customer. That's what you need to do. Clear, guys? Simple. And because we got a new document type, friends, because we got a new document type, obviously, don't forget copying controls. Friends, don't forget copying controls. That is the next important thing. Okay, now, sir, like we have seen the copying controls from order type OR to the delivery type LF. Same thing, my friends. In the same way, you maintain the copying controls from the agreement type DS to the delivery type LF. Same, no new routines, nothing. Whatever we have discussed earlier, my friends, everything is as it is same. Nothing new you see here. Nothing new. Everything is going to be same. Okay, na? Right, sir. So how to create delivery, how to create invoice, you people know about it, my friends. So you complete it. Okay, na? You complete it.
Sir, one small question. This incompletion procedure, you said it has to be 22, right? For this.
Has to be an example given by SAP because that is having another
Okay.
set of mandatory fields. Now you want to create your own procedure and use it, you can use it. It's purely up to you,
Okay. Okay. 22 is
right?
by
Hmm.
given by SAP. Okay.
By default,
Okay.
which is
Thanks, sir.
actually given by SAP.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, where is that? That is something 20 is for TAN, 22 is for LPN. That is something given by SAP. But I want to create my own incompletion procedure. If that's what you are talking about, you can create. As already we people have seen earlier, we can create our own incompletion procedures and you can assign it. Okay, right, sir. Okay, now comes the next document, contracts. Sir, delivery and invoice you complete. I am leaving it to you. Delivery and invoice, my friends, you complete. I am leaving it to you. Okay, na? Fine. Okay, next point, sir. When you are speaking about contracts, another document, contracts. Sir, contracts are also like agreements which are having certain validity period. Contracts are also like agreements that are having certain validity periods. But agreements and contracts, the difference is in the contracts we don't have the schedule line data. That is the biggest difference, and that is the biggest difference between agreements and contracts. Contracts will not have the schedule line data. Sir, if you don't have the schedule line data, then based on the contracts, can you deliver the goods? No. No, you can't do this. So this is where based on contracts, we people have to again create sales order. Based on sales order, you deliver the goods to the customer. How to create order, you know. So the biggest difference between agreements and contracts is this. Agreement is having the schedule line data, whereas my friends, contracts are not having the schedule line data. Now listen to me carefully. Basically, in the case of contracts, there are four different types of contracts, my friends. In the case of contracts, we have four different types of contracts. One is called quantity contract. Second one is called quantity contract. Sorry, first one is called quantity contract. Second one is called value contract. Second one is called value contract. Third one is called service contract. And my friends, the fourth one is called master contract. The fourth one is called master contract. So like this, my friends, basically we have four different types of contracts. Basically, we have four different types of contracts. Quantity contract, value contract, quantity contract, value contract, and service contract, and master contract. So like this, there are four different types of contracts. Now let me explain one by one, my friends. So first one, quantity contract. Sir, the name itself says This is a contract which is purely based on the quantity of the material. So while creating this contract, my friends, while creating this contract, we will clearly specify for which customer, all those things, which material, blah blah, whatever you want to enter. And then guys, we are going to specify how much quantity is going to be delivered by that day. Sir, it sounds the same as agreement, right? To this extent, it sounds same as your agreement. It sounds the same as your agreement, right? Then what is the difference between agreement and contract? Right, the biggest difference is, as I told you, agreement will have the schedule line data, whereas my friends, contracts will not have the schedule line data. Agreements will have the schedule line data, whereas contracts will not have the schedule line data. So this is the big difference between agreements and contracts. So while creating this quantity contract, friends, while creating this quantity contract, you can specify the customer, you can specify the material, quantity, pricing information, everything you can specify. But guys, you just cannot specify the delivery dates and quantities. You cannot specify the delivery dates and quantities. So it is a clear indication, that based on the contracts, you cannot deliver the goods to the customer. That is what, my friends, it says. Based on contracts, you cannot deliver the goods to the customer. So what we have to do? Based on contracts, my friends, we have to again create a sales order. Based on contracts, we have to create a sales order and then deliver the goods to the customer. So let us see how to create this contract. So below two agreements, we have contracts VA41. Friends, VA41 is the transaction code for creating the contracts. Okay, na? Right, sir? Now, every document, as I said, will have a separate document type. So my friends, first I am talking about quantity contract. For that, there is a document type called QC. That is what we have to use, QC, quantity contract. Open this. Sir, here same, enter the customer, enter the material, enter the quantity, same. And here also you should have valid, from, valid to, some description for that contract. Everything is, to this extent, everything is same as your agreement. One second, boss. Let me remove that text. Every time disturbance. Right. So the biggest difference between agreement and contract is, here to this extent same, creating contract, but go to item data, friends, go to item data and check it out. There you will not have schedule line data. Is the biggest difference. So SAP has given this provision, my friends. SAP has given this provision so that if you would like to create an agreement between company and customer, so that if you would like to create an agreement between company and customer, my friends, then you can choose contract if the customer has more flexibility, like agreement anukondi. In the agreement we are going to enter the delivery dates, we are going to enter the quantities, right? We will enter everything in the agreement, so that on those specified dates the customer has to receive those goods, so that on those specified dates the customer has to receive those goods. He has to go by those dates. But my friends, if it is contract, in that case the customer got more flexibility within the validity period. Friends, within the validity period, whatever the date on which the customer wants the material, within that validity period, on whatever the date the customer wants to have the material, simply based on the contract, on his specified date the customer can place the order and receive the goods. Getting the point, sir? So it's all about customers flexibility. That is the reason why SAP has given this feature called contract. That is the reason why, my friends, SAP has given this feature contract, so that on his specified date, whenever he wants it, on that date only the customer can place the order, so that it is not required for the customer to go by the predefined dates and all those things. Getting the point, sir? That's the reason why SAP has given this feature. Okay, next one. Sir, if you look at the screen here, I said we don't have the schedule line data. So where is the control? How the SAP system knows it? How the SAP system knows that it is not required to have any schedule line data in this document? How the SAP system knows about it? Again, my friends, the control lies in the document types, item categories, all those things. So let us speak about the document types, item categories, everything. Right, first I am speaking about document type. QC, this is the document type for contracts. Main functionality lies in document category. So what is the document category, guys? It is using C, G. G is the document category. It is using G. So now the point here is, because we don't have schedule line data, it is absolutely not required to specify any shipping information for this material, my friends. It is not required to specify any shipping information for this material. This is another point. This is another point. Okay, na? Right. Because no shipping, no billing is also required. Leave shipping and billing sections blank. Friends, leave shipping and billing sections blank. This is another point that we have to discuss. You have to know rather. Why? Because based on this, my friends, based on this, we are going to create sales order. Based on the contract, we are going to create sales order, and based on that sales order, friends, based on that sales order, we are going to deliver the goods and bill the customer. So my friends, contract is not relevant for shipping and billing. This is what you need to understand. And next one, screen is same as your agreement. So my friends, screen sequence group is same. See, the screen sequence group is same like agreement LP. Then my friends, the transaction code is changed. The transaction code is changed. So my friends, the transaction group has to be changed. So the transaction group has to be changed. We are creating this with VA41. So the transaction group is 4, my friends. So the transaction group is 4. Okay, na? Right. These are all the functionalities. Then what about the item category for quantity contract? See, KMN. Friends, that is the item category KMN. KMN. That is the item category, my friends. And what are the functionalities of this item category KMN? Let us open this. That is where we have the most important functionality. How the SAP system knows that it should not have the schedule line data. How the SAP system knows that it should not have the schedule line data for the item in your document. In the corresponding item category, there is a field schedule lines. There is a field schedule lines allowed. Friends, that we have to decheck. That we have to decheck. This is the most important point. This we have to decheck, my friends. Clear? So because this field is dechecked, you cannot have the schedule line data. You cannot have the schedule line data, my friends. That is what it is saying. So because this field is dechecked, in the corresponding schedule line, sorry, in the corresponding contract, in the document, the system is not determining the schedule line data. And next one, sir, completion rule comes into picture, my friends. Completion rule comes into picture. Why? Why? Because if the contract is for 100 pieces, then the sales order must be created up to 100 pieces only. The moment we create the sales order for 100 pieces, the status must be completed. The status must be completed. So, my friends, we are keeping it as C. Item is completed after the target quantity is fully referenced. Item is completed after the target quantity is fully referenced. That is what it is saying. So the moment I create the sales order with reference to this contract for full quantity, then my friends, obviously it is going to be blocked. Sorry, not blocked, completed. The status is going to be completed, so that with reference to that contract, you cannot create one more sales order. Clear, my friends? That is what it is saying. That is what it is saying. So if the status is completed with reference to that contract, you just cannot create one more order. So the status must be completed. The status must be completed the moment the orders are created with reference to the contract for full quantity. That is what it is saying. Okay, na? Right, sir. And next point. Sir, no doubt it is relevant for pricing. So without pricing, obviously you just cannot have all those things together. So no doubt it is relevant for pricing. But if you observe, it is not relevant for billing. Friends, if you observe, it is not relevant for billing. See why? Why? Because based on contract we will create order, delivery, and then based on order and delivery we raise invoice, but not based on contract. That is the reason why, my friends, we are saying that it is not relevant for billing. Just I left it blank, billing relevance. And because we don't have the schedule line data, no need to have schedule line category. Forget about the schedule line category, my friends. So this is the configuration to be done for contract. Then based on that contract, you create a sales order, and then, my friends, with reference to the sales order, you create delivery, and then you create the invoice. This is how it goes. Okay, na? The remaining contracts tomorrow I will explain. Quantity value contract, service contract, master contract, those things tomorrow we will discuss, and then tomorrow we will go to some other topic. Okay? Right, sir. Any questions for me, my friends here? Right. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow.